There has been an invasion, and the moment has been prepared for. It's the invasion of time. Serial 97 overall, but finale of season 15. Serial number 6 in it. The epic finale in season 15 that, fun fact, in a poll was designated the favorite of this season, apparently. That's...
How?
Yep. I don't know. But the invasion of time, dear. What's it about?
I'm an invading mostly. Also, there's tiny spaceships. The Doctor is already here or somewhere and talking to some people with bullets for heads, and he's prepared to do a thing. Leela's bored talking to K9. They're on a spacecraft, but it's confusing, and Leela wants to touch the scanner, but the scanner doesn't work. And K9 just kind of powers off because Leela killed him, and apparently he's not dead. He just doesn't want Leela yelling at him. The Doctor is offered a contract. Something about control over Time Lords. He signs it. He says something about a glorious cause. The Doctor is acting like something is very serious is happening. Tells Leela shut the fuck up at gunpoint. A man in gold boots answers the phone. He also has a cape. He goes to talk to a gold-hatted man, and the commander says, his name is Commander, says something is approaching and is unidentified, but it's Gallifrey, and Gold Hat goes, well, go to Amber Alert, there's a child missing. And then he goes, we still don't understand what this Gallifrey ship is, none of the Time Lord cords match it. This is so weird. Now the Doctor, I guess, is gonna go to jail because this is Gallifrey. By the way, the TARDIS has a pool, and Leela's hanging out in it. Also, we might be destroying the TARDIS, and it'll be very dangerous, maybe. The bullets are watching from afar on their TVs, and the TARDIS swooshes in, and they basically assault it. The Doctor's like, where the fuck is this? What's Gallifrey? Also, come with me, Leela. Actually, no, stay here. I'm acting very, very weird. They go straight to the Chancellor's office. Yes. Sorry, I meant they as... the pronouns. They go straight to the Chancellor's office and claim a bunch of rights, and apparently also the Time Lords and something. The Doctor teaches like, wow, I shouldn't have taught you anything, huh? And now he's the president! But wait.
Now he's the president!
Let's learn another lesson about the Constitution, and we have a fucking screaming fit, which is like a lot, honestly, and the Doctor requests everyone to show the fuck up or get shot. And he gets the president chamber to be better so they can use this big old room with chairs in it. Let's redecorate it and cover it in lead for some reason. Also, Leela needs to be taken somewhere comfortably. Leela's having a fun time looking at clothes, but she doesn't want any of these clothes. She wants her knife. But she can't have weapons here, so fuck your clothes. The Doctor is going to be given all the information ever. He will have more power than anyone in the universe. Bullets are apparently... The plan is nearing to completion, which I guess may be good. I don't know. Two Time Lords are just chatting. And absolutely nothing of importance is said. And then now it's time for an introduction. Here they honor Rassilon, whoever the fuck that is, and the bullets are excited that things are happening. And we're gonna give it the 3 old bangs, and if no one says shit, well, they're married. Okay, I guess we're doing this. Something is weird, but it's also going as expected, and the Doctor makes all his swears, and he gets the Matrix crown and becomes Keanu Reeves and enters the Matrix, but his brain hurts and he fall over. And that's...
He fall over. He go die now.
Mm-hmm.
He is die. He die.
He die.
He die. So.
Yeah.
The Invasion of Time.
Yeah.
Return to Gallifrey. A sequel of sorts. Not really, but picks up from The Deadly Assassin, in that the Doctor comes back and claims that he is the president. Doctor's up to a lot of shady shit. What's he up to? We'll get to it. But this is
episode.
This is an episode. I put my cards on the table. Not the biggest fan of this episode. I like a lot in it, but I don't like the episode as a whole.
Shocking.
It also, I don't know if you know this, dear. I don't know if it was obvious, but this episode was actually a hastily written story because the story they originally were going to do was going to be too expensive for them to do.
No.
So
You don't
Yes.
say.
So this is a very quick,
I
very
never
quick
could have seen
rewrite.
that coming. Ever.
In which Robert Holmes was invited to write, but he declined, never wanting to come back again after his troubles with the taxman. But he suggested something along the lines of, okay, basically they put their heads together, decide what to do, and they went, okay, why don't we spend the first 4 episodes on this sort of plot, and then the last 2 episodes are based on a different thing. Because the director and producer were very into those aliens, so they wanted them to return.
Really?
But
Really?
yes, I don't get it because the way they make them return makes no sense.
Okay.
And they're not. Yeah, I know. It's pretty shit. But yeah, I'll tell you more about what the story was initially going to be because it's kind of fucking wild. But I'll leave it at that for now.
You want me to tell you what the story actually was now instead?
Yeah, tell me what the story actually was in part 2.
Okay, well, it's an invasion of time, remember? So, Leela gets worried and everyone else is worried and Leela runs off to help the Doctor. And then Matrix apparently rejected him, but it hasn't. Something's going on. Doctor's sent for medical attention. The bullets are like, he's very close, but not strong. We may need to do plan 3. So, Borusa, a teacher, leaves and they take Leela with him. Meanwhile, the Doctor is having a juicy fruit put on his neck. Apparently, the thing that should take hours to wake him takes seconds. It looks like a juicy fruit. Am I wrong?
It does. No, it does.
Okay, thank you. Also, Leela is told to be expelled and murdered, I guess. Maybe now she's wanted at large and the police are after her. The Doctor mentions having a ringing in his head. Leela escapes. Doctor asks the teacher what the fuck is going on because it seems obvious. He mentions Leela again as being a source of absolute danger to everyone. The Doctor at one point tries to leave his room, but it's guarded. Goes behind a tapestry. Good thing there's a hidden door there that won't open to a sonic screwdriver. He has this whole fucking conversation with himself about how to open a door for like 5 to 10 minutes. Then he just like kind of says the password by accident, and there we go. And then we play hopscotch down the hallway, and Leela spots him, and we follow. And yeah. And they're instantly noticed, by the way. So the commander is sent after them with troops, and no one really understands what's going on. Even Leela gets away with shit, and he knows that she's following. Back to the TARDIS he goes, but he locks it. Leela can't get in. Doctor's inside with his ears shut. K9 looks sad, so they're gonna break into the TARDIS. Doctor's explaining the plan to K9, and he's like, the chances aren't great, apparently. And he's like, oh, but what if I do this? And he's like, oh, the chances are better. And Leela almost gets spotted, but finds a room with someone locked in a room. She has no interest in talking about the boring Time Lord shit. She's apparently space traffic time control. They never interfere, they only observe. Also, by the way, it's time to destroy that barrier that no one can destroy. Listen, it's apparently vital we put Leela outside of the citadel for the thing that's not going to happen, but it does. We come back to the keys.
But does.
With keys for the TARDIS, and none of them work until one does, and K9 comes out, and he's ready to kill. And we go back to check on the Doctor, and he's like, okay, let's chat with Goldhat. And Doctor's being told about Leela not being found, and he goes absolutely batshit about it, then calls the council together. Leela is invited into the room with the lady and her shield, but instantly we see there's a ship headed their way. That's not good. Meanwhile, K9 is in the subway system and shoots a bunch of stuff, exploding it. Doctor calls a meeting. Lady sends out a signal saying they're being invaded. Suddenly, the Bullet Boys have invaded. The Doctor laughs. That's it. It does look like a juicy fruit, though.
It does. I love how you call them the Bullet Boys.
Well, because the first and only real time you see them in the beginning is I think they're in chairs, but they look like
they're in
bullets.
Chairs.
Yeah, they look like bullets.
You don't see what they look like. You see the back of the chair. So,
yes.
But the chair kind of looks like a bullet.
But having called them Bullet Boys now and knowing, it's amusing.
So, the Doctor's now notorious line saying, even the sonic screwdriver won't get me out of this one, was an ad-lib by not Patrick Troughton, by Tom Baker. It wasn't scripted. The scripted line was, "That's not fair, Chancellor," and considering everything, they had a weird relationship with the sonic screwdriver. A lot of writers used it to just get out of everything.
Yeah.
And also it came a point of like, wait, the Doctor can just use his sonic screwdriver to get out of this. We need to think of another reason why he can't get out of here. That sort of thing.
It's a MacGuffin, basically.
Kind of, in a way. They deal with it quite a bit in the 80s. But they...
Oh, that's where the whole "it doesn't work on wood" thing comes from. Because they needed something.
No. But that is an interesting thing. The director of this piece was one who also worked on a very old Patrick Troughton story, and he was not putting up with Tom Baker's bullshit on set, because as we've mentioned, Tom Baker was really notorious to work with. He was really hard to work with on set.
Piece of shit, absolutely.
To the point where the director said something along the lines of like, "I remember when you were Patrick Troughton." In a way to fucking shut Tom Baker up, to make him put him in his place of like, "You're an actor. I have worked with many people on this show before you. Fucking accept that I'm in charge here." Which, you know, whether it worked or not, who knows? Tom Baker was notorious. I don't know if he's still hard to work with in his old age. I don't think he is, but you know, he could be.
Never know. Maybe.
Yeah, you never know. But that's how he was in the 70s, especially late 70s. He was very, very rude, very cranky, all the time. But anyway, what happens in the next part, dear? Gallifrey has been taken over. Now what?
Do you think he was on drugs? Maybe that's why he was cranky. It was the 70s.
No, he was just...
It was the 70s.
He was just a personality.
It was the 70s.
You're the 70s.
I'm the 70s? Okay, well, since I'm the 70s, I better talk about this because it's a point in time. The guards try to stop what's happening, but they just get killed. The Vardens are here, and the Doctor's like, "We have to submit to them, and everything in my brain was in the Matrix, and so
What did you call them?
Vardens? Vardens? Vardens, sorry. And so he sends the Cardinals away, but then he does ask if the lead was finished or not, and he was like, "Yeah, it was finished." Like, what the fuck? He's like, "Okay, meet me there in a bit." And so, there we go. So the Doctor heads off to find this great key, and we say K9 hecking around, and Leela and a lady arguing. We cut to the Doctor and his teacher happy about the lead everywhere. Finally, they can talk. Leela and Lady, by the way, are sneaking around, meet a guard. Doctor apparently is now fine. Everything makes sense between the two of them. The Vardens can read thoughts, apparently, but not through lead. The guard has captured them. Everyone is arguing again, but the guard this time is about, like, what knows about what's going on. And the Doctor's like, "Leela, go into the wilds," and where she thinks she's safe. Cut to Leela in the wilds, feeling safe. Also, if anything happens to the Doctor, Goldhat would be president. That'd be so sad if only, like, there was a guard that could maybe, like, shoot him or something. That'd be so sad.
Oh, finally.
Oh, man, if only. Leela is now in the wilds with some people who like spears, and she fucking flips one of them, and they're like, "Oh, you want our protection, right?" But everyone here is sus as fuck. But then that lady cries, and everyone just, like, decides to rest. Yes. Doctor and teacher are like, "Okay, let's do this." So they go out and fake some shit, and teacher basically says, "I won't submit." Okay, maybe I will. Goldhat then takes him and basically... Wow, I lost my place entirely. Ooh, takes him to his room, and he's rested now. Goldhat is now the vice president. Also, tell me who's causing trouble. K9 is hacking into the system. We have a moment where we treat Goldhat like shit. We get to treat a list of all the rebel Time Lords. The bullets aren't ready to materialize. They would like to remove the entire thing around Gallifrey, but if they do that, the planet will be destroyed. Leela finds the Spirit Guys. He finds out that Spirit Guys are Time Lords. They quit their jobs just because they kind of felt like it, and she wants to rally them. Goldhat, woo! Goldhat is now putting on a Time Lord expulsion parade thing, and also while the guards escort the rebel dude out, they're like, "Listen, we're gonna rebel, so sorry about you, but you gotta go." And he's like, "Alright, that's fine." Also, apparently they're just gonna straight up murder the Doctor. K9 back at the TARDIS, ready to fuck up some shit. doesn't fuck up some shit. By the way, the guards are about to break into the TARDIS. And then we put the Matrix on K9, and it works, I guess? But then we have a gun pointed at the Doctor, and that sucks. So, yeah.
Yeah, Android's gonna kill him.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good.
Mm-hmm.
So fun fact, the Vardens were actually a sheet of tinfoil. When they're not bullet form, as Dia says, when they actually materialize as, like, weird shimmers, they actually were just sheets of tinfoil, out of focus, and CSO'd into the picture. And also, the sound of them was similarly sized tinfoil, just shaking around.
Fun.
Also, I should mention real quick, the writer of this episode, David Agnew, is actually a pseudonym of Graham Williams, the producer, Anthony Reed, and David Weir, because they wanted to avoid the problem that Robert Holmes had, where he just put his name on the things, being like, I wrote this. Yep, yeah. I'm the writer, but I'm also the script editor. And he got audited. So they were like, let's avoid that problem, shall we?
Yep.
So they came up with a pseudonym. It comes up a few times, and they jokingly have a special on the DVD of this called Who is the Elusive David Agnew, which is sort of a history of the pseudonym, of why they did it specifically.
Yeah, to avoid taxes, I get it. Tax evasion.
Well, not to avoid taxes, but more to avoid being audited through it. But
tax evasion.
So the original story... Yeah. Not tax evasion. There is no such thing as tax evasion. There is only
there is no taxes in Ba Sing Se?
No, there's a few taxes in Ba Sing Se. They have a lot of taxes.
Oh shit. Anyway, continue.
So initially the story that this took over was called Killers of the Dark. It was fairly similar. It was still on Gallifrey. It was going to be cat people were native to Gallifrey and would live in a culture that is similar to many Asian countries. It would also feature a scene set in a gladiatorial arena, filled, of course, with cat people. When it was ran past the script editor and the director, it was cancelled because they believed it would be way too hard to film. I believe one thing they said about it was, it's a great film idea, but a terrible Doctor Who idea because it'd be way too expensive. The sort of other ideas that came from it was Time Lords were born somewhere else, and they just used the capital on Gallifrey as like a time central, and that the indigenous beings of the planet agreed to them doing it. Yes, Peens. In return for exemption from the Time Lords' code of behavior. So the cat people of Gallifrey were permitted to, like, take people out of time and stage gladiatorial games between species, like, something like that. Which is a terrible idea, let's be honest. So they went back to the drawing board and came back with the invasion of time instead. But anyway, what happens in the next part, dear? The Doctor's dead, Android killed him.
Well, actually the Doctor's like, how dare you, and K9 stuns him. And then K9 reconnects the TARDIS. Also, the guards outside get the rebel guards, and bullet guys are like, discipline! But then the guard is woken up in the TARDIS, but his gun doesn't work because he's in the TARDIS, and the Doctor heads out of the TARDIS because he's also, surrounded supposedly. But then we just see a lot of actual dead bodies, and he's like, oh, that's not good. So back to the TARDIS we go, tell the guard don't leave or you'll probably die. By the way, the Matrix has been invaded. I couldn't tell anyone because they could read thoughts. K9 doesn't have a brain, so this works. Stares directly into the camera like this is the Office. The Matrix being on him and mind reading and shit. Cool. I don't care. So it's a lot. Well,
you didn't mention it. You were just like, Kanan doesn't have a brain, so this works. And I'm like, mention what? I
mean, I said because they can read thoughts and shit. And so the gold hat, of course.
Yeah, but you didn't. Okay. You just said you were just like this. Like this doesn't work on Kanan. Like. That's why K9's doing this, but you didn't mention what he was doing.
So Gold Hat, of course, tells Bullet Heads that the Doctor's acting weird. So cut to the Doctor saying, thank God they don't suspect me. And then they don't know where the doctor is, so cut to Leela teaching the spirit people how to use bows. Also, the guard has a helmet now that can hide his thoughts. The radio has been drinking milk, so we can't trace it back to figure out their home planet. So it's time to dismantle this thing around Gallifrey, and we have to talk to the dead dude to do so, who's in the Matrix because he died forever ago. So we put the Matrix on Doctor's head, and we say we gotta figure out how to turn this thing off, dude. And the bullet boys are like, gasp! And the Doctor is being watched, and said bullets is shutting the thing down, I guess, while Leela and the others attack the citadel, and they're like, wow, that's weird, there's no force field here. And then the force field apparently has a hole in it, directly above the citadel, and Gold Hat is like, oh god! But then they materialize in, and they're like humans, and that's weird. And then they're like, okay, come with us, we're gonna go make it permanent. And K9 and the commander are walking, and Leela and them are walking, and now K9 and the guard hang out walking, and they lead into a room, and K9 takes a nap, and they need to wait, and Leela's confused why there's no barriers. Suddenly, the human boys tell the Gold Hat that we need to kill the Doctor. He's also president now because we're gonna kill the Doctor. Leela and them are trying to break down the door to the Doctor. K9 is basically president now. The humans now go on alert because they felt the trace thing. The Vardens source planet is found, so we do a thing and they basically just get sent home. Gold Hat is very confused. We won! Woo! Doctor tells everyone to clean up and stop being a piece of shit, Gold Hat, and Gallifrey is safe. Yay! There's Centaurans behind us. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Centaurans
god.
behind
Oh
us.
no.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
So fun fact here, the starting point of this, of Graham Williams' desire to see more of the TARDIS interior, that's where most of this episode actually came from. He wanted to see more of the TARDIS interior, he wanted to bring back the Sontarans, and he wanted to reevaluate the Doctor's relationship with his own people. The concept of the Vardens came comparatively late in the story. I fucking hate the look of the inside of the TARDIS. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it.
What do you mean? This is just
John Nathan Turner
various
in the 80s
shots of
homogenizes it.
buildings they could rent. That's all it is.
Which, fun fact, the bulk of the location interiors were filmed in the disused mental illness section of St. Anne's Hospital in Red Hill, Surrey.
Jesus fuck.
Yep. It's great. I hate it. I hate it because it's just a random building, and I would be fine with it if it was a proper collection of different buildings of like every room is a completely different room. But it's so clear that it's all the same building. It's just like an industrial-looking building and a sick bay, essentially. I hate it. Not the biggest fan. Also, the sound of the gun that they use at the end of Part 6, I'm saying this now because there's more I want to say, will be familiar to fans of the seminal 80s cartoon series Danger Mouse. The BBC lawyers asked Cosgrove Hall Animations, I don't know why I said Hill, to stop using it. In a similar vein, it was at the point that Brian Hodgson's TARDIS takeoff and arrival were reclassified as music rather than sound effects, so he could actually get royalties from it. So every time it goes off, he would get royalties. Because, he made it, which seems fair to get some money off it. But I just love that a lot of these BBC sounds were basically just stolen and used with other products, and they have to send cease and desist, being like, "Can you fucking not, please?"
Yeah.
But anyway, there was also a bit of a dispute going on between scene shifters at the BBC, which is the reason why most of the TARDIS interiors were shot on film and on location. It was a contingency for there was a contingency budget for outside broadcast work, which was outside the pay deal that was currently being negotiated with the union, so it was the filming of the TARDIS material beyond the studio that allowed the story to be made. So basically, if they didn't bypass the union, they never would have made the story. So, think of that what you will. Because they... Remember how I said last episode that they considered scrapping Underworld and putting its budget towards this episode?
Yeah.
They borderline suggested ending the season early, and that the budget and props would be reallocated to the next season. Because Graham Williams already had elaborate plans for next year's stories, which all have a cohesion to them. So it was like, oh, maybe we should put more effort into that, and we'll just make this season kind of like an off-season kind of thing. Which, I mean, it kind of already is already. But anyway, what happens in the next part?
So, oh god, now everything is going to be enslaved. That's great. Also, the Vardens were a fake out to let the Sontarans in because they go, hey, we don't know who the doctor is. We should probably go find the doctor because we know of the doctor and fuck that dude. Teacher escapes custody, heads to the lead room with K9 for a while. He finally believes that I guess the doctor's been doing, and I don't know why we were shown that he believes him. So teacher pulls out a cabinet drawer and pushes a button, causing a noise, letting everybody escape. Gold Hat changes sides again, the president is to be taken and everybody else to be killed. Leela learns about how to kill a Sontaran and then just does so. Whoops. Oh no, he's dead. Leaving everyone running and fleeing. Oh god, things are happening. Suddenly in the lead room, everyone rushes in. Teacher has a gun. This is a weird setup. Gold Hat has shown to everyone where the exact room is now. And the Sontarans can't get in, so they're gonna go get their bigger guns so they can get in. And everybody escapes through the secret door. And it's a secret door because the real door is ajar. So it confuses everyone about what's happening. Oh, Jesus Christ. Leela is to take everyone to the TARDIS. For whatever reason, teacher still has a gun. Don't know what's going on. Every president has needed to find the Great Key. It's never been found. So the Spear Time Lords are getting fucking killed, but one was alive enough to kill a Sontaran and the knife while the others run. He cannot just threaten time, not while we have the Great Key. Wait! We have this wall of fucking keys, but it's none of these. Actually, it's this one under the desk. The key was a fake. Oops, here's the real key. Sontarans are just like, go past the Matrix and do whatever, it's fine. Gold Hat is like, I can't do that? I can't just do these things? Gold Hat is a coward, and the Sontarans try to stop them, and it does nothing. The Chancellor has a personal force field, and they're just walking, and it's like, it's fine, a lot of walking. And then they get into a TARDIS, and Sontarans chase them, and they shoot the TARDIS, and it does nothing. They give Leela some directions and the key, and off she goes, but then she goes and needs to go into the TARDIS somewhere, but she gets lost. The lady from earlier conversation is just like, I just fucking can't, whatever. And then they're going to close the hole, and then they do some shit, and the TARDIS fucking moans, and I don't know why. And they keep saying some more... No, it's like a sexy moan, and I hate it. They keep saying more words that mean absolutely jack shit, by the way. It's just bullshit, science, meaningless, whatever. Other than basically they want our Time Lord power. Gold is ready to fucking blow up Gallifrey at this point. We open the TARDIS window and see that the Sontarans have a ship, and the TARDIS has to remain secure so that the defense screens stay up, and now the TARDIS is going to be thrown into a black star. So, that's not good.
That's not good.
It's not good.
In fact, one might say, that's bad!
Might be. Could be. Could be.
Could be. Leela was supposed to be killed off in this episode, dying defending the Doctor against the Sontarans. Ultimately, the creators felt that this would traumatize children, so they didn't go.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah, no, right? Louise Jameson would have much preferred this exit, the actress who played Leela, as she was kind of unhappy with the one she got, and I mean, I am too. I fucking hate it. It's so bad, but we'll talk about it when we get to it. Originally, the Doctor's actions as president threw the Time Lords into an open civil war, and part 2 was meant to end with several rebellious Time Lords threatening to execute the Doctor, much like what Andred does in part 3. But, you know, changed it again. The original actor who played Barusa in The Deadly Assassin, unfortunately could not come back, so they just recast him and said he regenerated. So, I mean, that's honestly what you can do.
Yes.
Following the troubleshoot of this episode, though, Graham Williams, the producer, sent a memo to his superiors that in future, all directors should take the show seriously. Because the director didn't really take it that seriously. He kind of was more jokingly, didn't really think it was worth sort of his time recording, so he kind of just fucked around. Which, you know, is kind of fair, but also at the same time, like, come on, you're hired to do a job, take it seriously. This is also one of the most extensive views of the interior of the TARDIS that's ever been provided on television. As in the Mask of Mandragora. The deep TARDIS interior is shown to be an eclectic combination of rooms with highly variable designs, such as an indoor swimming pool and an industrial building. The interior of the TARDIS becomes much more homogenized after this in the 80s. The TARDIS interior greatly resembles the console room with white rounded walls throughout. And also, such an exploration of the TARDIS would not be undertaken again until like 2013 in a story that's pretty okay. Bite me. But yeah, that's you could also read some if you want to, you could read some Cold War elements in this story. Not really much here, but there's like more so the way people act as if sort of like the new regime had always existed, to sort of more like enemies of the state type stuff that are expelled to a wilderness. The way that Kellner adapts from serving the Vardens to serving the Sontarans without like missing any fucking beat. But it's very kind of a little bit Soviet here and there. But I wouldn't really read too much into it. But anyway, what happens in the final part, dude?
Well, the Doctor's now trapped in the TARDIS in a star, so too bad about that key, but I guess it's fine. Good thing Gold has a probe, which then lets the Centaurans inside the TARDIS. They call it rubbish. So time for that Gold Hat to fix it so that the hole will open up again. Centaurans want the Doctor alive, probably for torture or something. By the way, they're just walking in the same fucking places repeatedly, and he's getting lost, hee. And then they wander into a plant room with a slow clock, and the Sontarans break into the TARDIS further. K9, by the way, is hooked into the workshop, and the commander really wants a model like him, and they're like, oh man, damn. And we're fucking back in the same place again here. But
Time to fuck.
I hate this trope so much to start with. But now they've broken into the main area of the TARDIS, so now we have Lady in the Key, and he asked if he asks for the key. She must give K9 the key when he asks for it and do what he says. The Doctor, Commander, and Leela are headed somewhere. Apparently they cannot trace human life forms, says the Centaurans. If they can't go any further, they need to go back and turn off the thing. Or they just turn off the generator that is controlling it. So okay, Gold Hat, let's go do that. So we chat with Teacher, talk about how the Chancellor needs to fuck. Cut to Sontarans running around the pool, and one eating absolute shit. Everyone picks a different door, and then they run some more, then they meet up again, and then the Sontarans, obviously, you don't see where they were and don't have fucking peripheral vision in Doctor Who, and the Sontarans are hunting the Doctor in the planet room and the carnivorous plant room, but oops, the Doctor's lost again. Hee. We're using the same scenes. Hee. And the Sontarans have found a power station with art in it, and of course it is fake, and the switch makes the art disappear, and they pull at the switch, and now they know where the humans are. Back at the workshop, for whatever reason, K9 was not given the key for some reason, and now they own a big gun. The Doctor has forced her to built it under hypnosis, and the key was hidden because it runs the gun. And now we have the Gold Hat under knife, and he spills all of his secrets, and now we have a gun. And now we're at a standoff because the Sontarans will destroy everything with it, including the Time Lords. And now the Doctor shoots his gun, maybe. And the bomb maybe it goes off. It's not really apparent. But the Doctor is dead on the ground. And Leela is... I'm realizing I am sounding like... Half-Life 3, the fucking, I forget what it's called now. But he goes faster. 3. And then it was his brother, and he goes faster.
Full life consequences?
Full life consequences, yeah. God damn it. But the Doctor is dead, and Leela is hearing something approach and kill, but it is the Doctor, and I guess the Doctor forgets everything now. Oops, time for everyone to go home and pick the new president. Leela is apparently staying with someone she's talked to like 3 times, maybe? And K9's also fucking staying, because fuck this entire show. And then Doctor's like, okay. And they're like, wow, the Doctor's gonna be so sad without anybody with him. And he goes into the TARDIS, and there's a K9 Mark II in a box. And he's just like, hee. And it's like, what the fuck ever? It's like, hey, you had to just go put down your dog. And you walk into your house and you bought another dog secretly because you knew you were putting down your dog. And you're like, haha, it's fine. Fuck that other dog. It's whatever. So, yeah.
Invasion of Time. So yeah, Leela stays behind because she's in love with Android, apparently. It's so rushed, everyone knew it was rushed. It's bad. I will say, one good aspect of this that comes from this is the very, very good Big Finish series Gallifrey, which continues on from this in a sense. The fact that Leela is on Gallifrey. It's very much not sort of standard Doctor Who, more political thriller in a sense. But I very much appreciate it, and Leela is great in it. And Android is also in it. Android's also there.
Good for him.
But that's yeah. Initially, they didn't know while they were filming, even while they were writing, whether Louise Jameson was going to stay on for another season or not. So they had to have an easy out for her just in case, and the easy out they had was the fucking Android to love her. I hate it. But anyway, that's the Invasion of Time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. It's one of those ones where you watch it once and that's like, okay, I'm done. Thanks. I never want to see that again. Not that it's absolutely terrible, but like, once you've seen it once, all you see is people running through corridors constantly. It's not good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what do you think, dude?
I gave it a fucking 0.
So you didn't even like the canine jokes?
There's so many tropes in this that I hate. I hate people just saying, hee space time. Didn't you see when I did that space time thing? And they do that for longer than like 10 seconds. There is a full conversation between two Time Lords about things that no normal person would understand or grasp, and it's just boring and filler and bullshit. And it happens multiple times in this, for one, with multiple people, for two. And then, oh my fucking god, the fact that they did the trope of like, the secret hidden power of the Time Lords was a gun. It was just like, what? And there's that. Then also, I already hate the trope of we're lost and we're just filming in the same area again. But they do it so many times. So many fucking times. It is 90% of the last episode. And it... Oh, it's a lot.
Yeah, the entirety of part 5 and part 6 are basically just running through corridors. The same corridors.
I could have liked this. I could have liked this if it did not do some of the things that it did. But it did. And so I fucking hate it. And I want it in a fire. And I want it in a fire. Goes in the fire. Goes in the fire with that one other episode that I don't even fucking remember. That was a goddamn slideshow. I don't give a fuck.
So, do you want to watch The Underwater Menace again? No, that's alright. That's the end of season 15. Season 15 is over.
Ended with a great note. Average of 6, ended with
right?
a 0. Great!
I know, right? We started season 15 so well, and then inflation just caused it to fucking crash.
I know a thing or two about inflation.
I know. You drew furry art for a very long time.
I did. I also had inflation on stream the other day, but that dates this episode. It's fine.
Oh, jeez. That's TOS. But anyway, next season. Season 16. Also known as the Key to Time arc. That's right, we finally have a full season arc of television in Doctor Who. It's great, I love it. We'll start next with the Rebos operation. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I will say, the arc has a lot of similarities to the Keys of Marinus, if you remember that one, do you? But anyway, the Rebos operation. I'm excited. We're finally at the Key to Time. It's good.
I'm existing.
It is existing. It is gone. Goodbye, dear. I missed you.
Bye.
There goes dear.